Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I'm still getting over a chest cold, so forgive my voice. You might like my voice better now because my voice probably maybe is annoying to you. So if you listen to me enough. Anyways, as always, sponsored by Health West. These guys, great medical group. Give them a Google, find out where they're closest to you. Bring your friends, your family, your loved ones, everyone you know to them. Give them a try, see what they can do for you. We're also sponsored by my companies, New Clean Commercial Cleaning and Commercial Cleaning Services, servicing from Burley all the way over to the Rexburg area right now. And if you call us at 208-254-7070 and ask about janitorial services and say you heard about us on the podcast, you're going to get some kind of service absolutely for free, even if it's office sterilization, because obviously that's what I should have done with my office, reset my office so I didn't get this horrible little chest cold that I'm dealing with. That's what we can do for you. All right, people. So last week, I had a friend in the afternoon give me a holler up and said, "Hey, do you want to go visit another friend and in Wyoming and go grab dinner with him and then come back?" And I said, "Sure." And we met at the airport. His friend's a pilot, so we got onto his smaller aircraft, and this is a first for me. And we took off. We took off from Idaho Falls Airport, and we flew to Mountain View, Wyoming. And there's an airport near that town. What would have taken us, 4.5 hours to drive there, it took us 45 to 50 minutes to fly there. And we had a tailwind that helped the matter a little bit more. So we pretty much zoomed over there. On our way over there, smooth flight. My friend's an excellent pilot. I observed something because, we were talking, we were, in the midst of our flight, we were just talking, having a conversation. We had obviously the headset on with the microphone so we could communicate with one another. He was resting his hand on I think it's called the yoke of the plane. And he was getting a little heavy-handed, apparently. And even though it looked like we were staying on course, he had a little iPad in the middle showing kind of the GPS coordinates of, hey, this is the course that we need to stay on to get to this airport. We weren't paying attention. And then you could see, it was probably maybe a minute of us and him just being a little heavy-handed on the yoke, but it got us a couple degrees off. And you could see us deviate, the aircraft, just similar to a GPS in your car, veering off the course of the path that we needed to take. Just, the course is going this way, we're going this way. And he sees this, we both see it, and he just, not cranks it, but he corrects it back gets it back to the course. So we're getting back on the course we need to fly. And it got me thinking, I know we've talked about this a way back, but what if we just stayed on that course, even because it was literally just a couple degrees off. What a huge difference in destination that would have taken us, what that would have made for us, because even if it was 1 degree, 2 degrees. Our destination of Mountain View, Wyoming, could end up being completely different for us by the time that that 45 minutes or 50 minutes destination was up. And on the way back, we departed at nighttime. And before I get into that, let's relate that to our businesses. As we are running our businesses, how easy is it for us to get, we're focused, we're especially at the beginning of the years, we're like, okay, this is what we have to do, this is what we have to accomplish. And then maybe we get a couple months in, we're like, okay, it's business as usual. Let's just do what we usually did. And that's fine. And you veer off course a little bit from what you really wanted to accomplish that year or that quarter. And you don't get the growth that you wanted to, right? Or maybe you have something that happens. And, this could be something like, hey, this quarter went amazingly good and you didn't change anything. And you're like, oh, let's keep doing what we're doing. But maybe, you got to think, could this be, a kind of a fluke situation, or has the environment changed for your business, or what is it? Same thing as if things went bad, you lost a client, sales are down, whatever it is. Sometimes we can get emotional about things, and we can now judge those results in that small amount of time and get emotional about wanting to change everything if it's negative, or stay on the same track if everything's just all of a sudden been really good. And that brings us to me taking off at night. After we ate pizza with my friend, got to catch up with him, which was fun. And then we took off, which was a really fun experience. Taking off at night, flying back, and we fly into the horizon, and the sun's pretty much setting, and then you get to the point that it's pitch black. And again, you have the iPad, and you see the path that you're taking back to Idaho Falls, but you're still thinking, holy smokes. And it's like you see small lights in the different townships, but you're like 12,500 not square feet, 12,500 feet up in the air. And where the airport we were taking off at was, over 7,000 feet in altitude. And so we're climbing, and I'm thinking, man, how easy would it be to be, kind of lose your way if you didn't have the instruments that you have in the plane in front of you, especially this little nice iPad that you had, that would tell you exactly if you're veering off course or that way or this way. And obviously pilots can fly without the nice little GPS, but it involves more math and that kind of stuff. Definitely far above what I could even explain to you. But as we're getting closer to our destination, we were talking about how it was pitch dark, and how pilots, the leading cause of crashes is taking off and landing, especially at nighttime, because people won't trust their instruments. They'll be on like a slight turn, and they'll think that they're being, they'll think that their plane is just going straight, because that's what they're feeling like. They're not trusting their gauges. They're not, and they'll even tell the tower or whoever they're talking to, I don't trust my gauges. This is not right. And the tower is telling them, hey, no, you need to correct. And they're like, no, the gauges are wrong. And they end up crashing. Excuse me. And this brings us back to, again, those situations where we find ourselves in business. Let's go back to the good situation. Like, hey, we just had something phenomenal happen in our business, and we're thinking, wow, I haven't really changed anything in my business, and something just came in the doors, and it's just completely been phenomenal for my business. Cool. Now it doesn't mean you shouldn't change anything in the future. It doesn't, it doesn't mean that, or it does mean that. But what it should mean is that you should always trust your instruments. This is where I always talk about keeping your instruments up to date and in good working order, meaning your profit and loss statement, your income statement, your balance statement of your books. And if you don't have those up to date and you don't have a bookkeeper keeping those up to date, meaning monthly, reconciled monthly, so you can look at those monthly and know where you're at, there's something wrong. And you won't know if something's wrong until it's too late, until you've crashed the plane. And that's what many business owners deal with, is they feel like they're flying straight, but in all actuality, they're actually in a slight turn, and that they don't realize they're veering into a small mountain peak or whatever, because they don't know what they don't know, and they're not trusting the instruments. Or in our situation, business owners, many of us don't have instruments that are in good working order, and shouldn't be flying the way we're flying without these business instruments being in order, being in good working order. So what I'm getting at is, even if a situation arises that, hey, clients leave, employees leave, and you feel like, holy smokes, everything is going wrong, and you've made some changes, and you feel like you're doing things right, you might be. Don't give up the hunt of what you're doing until you look at your instruments, look at your gauges, look at your reports, look at all the stuff that you have to look at before you start deviating from your path. Because too many people can get emotional in the moment and lose their way, because in the moment their business is telling them X. But in all actuality, their business is actually, actually over here in A, B, and C, but they're feeling X, Y, and Z. So don't let your business emotionally wreck you just because you're feeling it in the moment. So trust your gauges, keep them up to date. If you don't have a good bookkeeper, find a good bookkeeper. If you need a good bookkeeper recommendations, reach out to me. We can give you some recommendations. But I'm telling you, and you don't have to have them. You don't have to have one local to you. Use QuickBooks Online, use these online services that you don't have to have local people. But have instruments that are working, have them that you can trust, so you don't have to be flying blind up there. Like I said, how terrifying it would be to be 12,500 feet in the air. And this is many of us running our businesses. We're up there 12,500 feet in the air, and many planes can go higher, and we're flying blind because we don't have a correct P&L. We don't have balance sheets that are up to date. We don't have employee retention reports. We don't have any other key KPIs that we run our companies by up to date, or nor do we have KPIs in place. KPIs, key performance indicators. So think to yourself, what can I do better to set myself up for 2025 so I can have that nice little iPad in front of me telling me exactly where to go? So, even though it's not going to tell you exactly where to go, but it's going to tell you, as you look at it month to month, you're going to say, okay, what I've done and the changes I'm making are working, or they're not working, or maybe they need a little bit more time to work. But you're going to be able to have a good understanding of where you're at by looking at your instruments. So be that pilot that has up-to-date instruments, and trust your instruments going forward, and don't fly blind. Go out there this week, guys. Be happy, be grateful, serve others, and prepare for Christmas season, man. Find others that you really can serve, and you'll see the happiness that'll come to you. It'll come to them, and just enjoy the holiday season. Adios, guys.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.